Hello beautiful people, it's Michelle from Mickey Art, and today I'm playing again with these Resenes test pots that I scored on the cheap, on the free at the local home show. They had a painting display where that you could go and paint a little wooden house. I think pretty sure it was free, and at the end they had all these leftover test pots, so I went and whispered in someone's ear and managed to score myself a possibility of a big pile of free stuff. How's it getting any better than that? Now, I really had fun with my spiral funnel pour. So, I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to use these colours. What colours have I got here? I have a beeping phone is what I have. Hush. Hush, hush, my little friend. Hush, hush. So, in the bright orange, that's not the colour. This is a dark orange. It's called Raging Bull. It's sort of an orange, red, terracotta-y type colour. That's that one. Then we've got, oh, that's reasonably good colour combo. Bihoki, B-I-H-O-K-I. Now obviously this is totally irrelevant to anyone outside of New Zealand, but if you're in New Zealand and want to have a play, this one is called River Gum. And last but certainly not least, the sort of green cream khaki kind of colour, it's called Bubble and Squeak. Bubble and Squeak that I used to have never looked like that, but anyway, it's quite a green cream. I've got my phone's light on, so hopefully we'll have a lot better colours today. Let's see how that works. Anyway, silicone. What silicone am I going to put in here now? I use Durex Play Perfect Glide. Why? Because it is 100% dimethicone. No lovely for the skin things like aloe vera or anything like that. It's just straight man-made oil. How's it getting any better than that? So, the colours that I'm going to put this into, which one? Wind. I'm going to put it in the light colour and the dark red colour. So I have mixed this paint 1/3 paint and 2/3 Floetrol, and as you can see it's almost a perfect consistency. So considering that these test pots are like $5 each, and they are, how many mils in a test pot? 60 mils, so 2 ounce test pots. They that turn out quite reasonable price wise. Not the best, but then hey, how's it getting better? Now if you remember, the last time I did these, I actually did them on MDF board, so this is a test on canvas. Now that silicone is coming to the top super fast. I'm just sitting here watching it. I don't know if you can capture it in here. I'm just seeing it bubbling up. It's quite fun to watch. Anyway, let's have a go. I'm going to actually do it down this end and do the and then let it flow that way. How's that sound? So let's start with the Bubble and Squeak. And I'm just doing a dirty pour not layering it. Pouring from a reasonable height down in there. That green reminds me of my mother's kitchen at our old house. Oh, I'm liking this already. Not usually in for these sorts of colours, as you might know, but check out what's happening in the cup. Those cells are coming up quite nicely. So let's take you over here and tip slightly so that you can hopefully take you over this way. And you can see it as it comes out. So let's do this. There we go. I'll pop that into an empty vessel so that we can, wow, look at this, guys. This is so like pretty. Look at those cells. I have not torched it. You've seen me. You've watched every process. You've watched every move. So this is all the Floetrol cells and then the silicone cells. Okay. They're kind of pretty. Let's pop the air bubbles. Bring up a few more cells in there. That's super cool. Look at this, guys. I do like it. Just going to get that leftover paint off onto the corners. Sometimes when you've got some really pretty stuff, putting some plain around the edge allows that pretty stuff to scoot over top of the plain stuff, and then you don't have to worry about losing the pretty stuff to the roll under effect, if you know what I mean. If you're new to acrylic pouring, the roll under effect is as it hits something dry, that edge rolls under and allows the rest of the paint to flow over it, so you end up losing some of the pretty stuff. That's why I'm just creating a bit of a wet area. Some people just pour a huge amount of paint and just hope that the pretty stuff stays as they pour. Can you see how that's having that effect? And I just want to use a corner catcher, which is just a bit of cardboard folded up. And quite often when you take them off, they create little pretty patterns, which you could then, if you wanted to, make into pendants. Can also use them to pick up the runoff and use that to fill in the gaps, so that when you then tilt to that corner, See? It's so pretty. Look at that. There are people out there that go, Michelle is saying something that's orange is pretty. The world has turned upside down. What are we going to do? Can you guess which corner I'm going to next? Just scooping this paint up. That one is getting soggy and uncontrollable. Let's grab another one. These are just the sidebars of cereal box. Can you see that rollover effect that I was talking about happening up here? Wow, that is stunning. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I so love it. Can you tell? Brighten it up a little bit. Right, there you go. I'm done. There's a couple of little lumps of paint. Now this is what happens when you get paint that's sat out on a table, people dipping in and out of over a period of time. You get gunky sides. You're not completely in control. But I tell you what, I'm really glad that I asked, because I am super pleased. That's actually a lump, not a bubble. Super pleased, super pleased. Wow. Ooh. That. Big long hair. Now, just gonna give it a quick brush over to get air bubbles out. Because if you leave the air bubbles in there, it's kind of like a pimple, where if you leave them long enough, the outside becomes crusty, and then when they pop, they kind of leave a little crater where the top bit is popped and collapsed into the dry hole underneath. Whereas if you can pop them early, it can refill underneath and they don't leave that crater. I'm going to get you down and show you this, guys. It is stunning. Come on down. Look at this. So that green is a little bit more yellow than it looks on screen. It's a little bit more of a moss green rather than it kind of looks blue there. It's so subtle yet so defined. And the cool thing is that's not white, that is that cream colour, bubble and squeak. Oh, I'm so excited. But as we all know, anyone that's done any house painting, the colour it looks in the tin is definitely not the colour it dries. So, as soon as we've mixed this with the Floetrol, we know that it's definitely not the colour it's going to dry, because the Floetrol makes it lighter. It will dry a lot darker than this, but I so love these cells. But yeah, look at that one, that series of them. They're funky. It looks like a prawn almost. And here's his eye. What you didn't realise is it's a giant fish with scales, and there's his little beady eye looking at you. Oh, I love it. I love it. I really love it. So I'm going to leave it to dry, and I will be back to record the ending of this in your time. 3, 2, 1. Alright, it's dry, and it has stayed really pretty, although it's gone, as I said it would, really, really dark compared to what we were seeing. But that is to be expected when you're using house paints and when you are mixing in such high percentage of Floetrol. This has dried really well, except for the bits of lumps and stuff that we saw those, and digging them all out. This is, it is reclaimed paint as such. It had been, oh, here comes the sun. Crikey, changes the colours on the camera quite dynamically. Funny, sun's gone again. As I said, it's reclaimed paint, or it had been sitting out, the edges had dried, it was not brand new paint. You've always got to be careful of those lumps and bumps, but I like it. I like it a lot. I think it would make delicious something. I also think it would make a very delicious material, so I will be playing with that, absolutely. What else? I like it. I'm happy with it. It's come out really well. The colours, the green kind of disappeared, but I tell you what, there's a lot more green in the next one. I used the rest of the paint in the next one and seeing how it interacts with my cheap house paint that I use for my backgrounds. So if you have enjoyed this painting, if you want to know more about me, about my playing with paint, or you just want to know the answer to that conundrum, does it mix with the Bunnings spring paint, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, tell me how you've interacted with house paints in the past. What pouring mediums do you use? What have you created? How much fun have you had with house paint colours and pouring them all over things? Anyway, I've had fun creating this one, and I am having had fun creating the next one as well, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you in the next video. What else is possible, guys? How much fun can we add to our lives? Are you willing to choose that? I adore you all, and I look forward to playing with you again super soon. Have fun. Bye bye.